And so now in the Pro
Wow.
Tour, there is a lot of two-handed players on the Pro Tour now. And so
Really?
there's probably, if I were to just think really quickly, more than 15, more than 20, more.
Wow. And you
and
used
these
to
guys are
be,
cool.
you were the only guy for a while?
Me, and then another guy came in, and then another one or two, and then it was like overnight. In the last 3 to 5 years, it feels like there's been one, and then in the last year, just a bunch. Just kind of, it's almost like they became old enough, like to be a pro athlete. Like
Sure.
these young kids maybe watched me bowl for the last 15 years on the Pro Tour. And so you think of a 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid who's watching something, wants to do it. Now they're 15 years older. So now they're 28, ready to go. And it just definitely feels like it hit all of a sudden. And so you look left and there's two-handed bowlers there. You look right, there's two-handed bowlers there. And they're all really, really good. Because, and I do see a little bit of me in their game. Like they've studied me, or someone has and has told them to do certain things. And so I'm like, oh, geez, these kids they're going to be so much better than me, because they just have so much more information at their fingertips now.
They might be able to see the things that you can't see about your own game that they can improve.
Probably.
Now, tell me, when you first came in doing this unorthodox style, how was it received within the industry?
Yeah, the first few events I actually played on the Pro Tour as an amateur. I had there were 2 events in the year that you could enter as an amateur, and I would do okay. Yeah, I played the Masters once and the US Open once. So there was 2 events. Everyone kind of looked at me and saw me. I had made somewhat of a reputation for myself as an amateur internationally. And so there was a little bit like, intrigue. But then I didn't go back to the Pro Tour per se soon thereafter. I went back to Europe and Asia. So they kind of saw me, and then I think they kind of forgot about me a little bit. When I came back and I was ready for the Pro Tour, it was hard. It was really hard because I'd gotten a lot better at this point. And so in my first rookie year, I win a championship. I've become one of the top 10 guys really quickly the season after. And then I start winning like a lot and start breaking records, and I start winning major championship after major championship. And the American crowd is unlike any crowd in the world, because if they love you, and I do have fans that love me, so that's very, very kind, and I'm very grateful for that. They will support you. However, if they don't like you, they are not afraid to say whatever comes to their mind. And sometimes it can be a little, it can be a little harsh. It can be a little like, holy shit, did you really just
like,
say
are you
that?
talking mid-game? People are just sledging you from the crowd?
Yeah, like, and the competitors I played against, wasn't really like, they just didn't like the way that I played, and the jealousy of that was because I was winning and they weren't, and it's money, and it's legacies, and it's livelihood.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like,
you think about they've
really
spent all this time. Yeah, they've spent all this time learning this technique, and this is the way you do it. And then this fucking dude comes in from Australia with his, he's butchering our style. He's doing his whole new thing. So that shouldn't be allowed. And secondly, he's winning.
Yeah.
So it's obviously better than what I'm doing. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. So I can understand how they would be like, fuck this guy.
They were way more like, it's cheating, right? That's what they were more like.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see me, or at least the style, be banned. And that was not fun to deal with. But the crowd were way more personal. The competitors that I bowled against, they didn't give it to me like, Jason Belmonte is cheat. It was the style or whatever it was. But the
Yeah.
fans,
Yeah.
go home, go back to Australia. This
Oh,
is not
wow.
this is not how you bowl. You're ruining our game. And
Yeah.
this is the game I love and I'm passionate for. And you have a percentage of the crowd saying you're ruining it. As an adult, you hear it, and you're like, probably it shouldn't hurt that much. But when you're on the approach and you're bowling, you're doing something that you love, and you hear this crowd of people abusing you for doing something the way that you do it. And yes, it then went into the social media side of things and the postings and the tagging. And I'm this, young kid who's just kind of learning social media as everyone else is, not realizing you can actually not look at it. And you don't know who these people are. I'm reading everything and I'm like, oh my God, this is brutal. And that was hard. That was a really hard thing to get through. But then eventually it was a motivation to some degree to be like, right, this is an opportunity for you to show that you belong. Like, they may not like it, but you are going to win. And you were going to win a lot, and you were going to break all of their records. And this was the thought process that I had. And you're going to give them no choice, whether they like it or not, but you're going to give them no choice to respect it. That's it. That's all I wanted from them, was to say, we hate what you do. We don't like you, but shit, dude, you're really good at it.
Damn, he's good at it.
Yeah. You're really good at it.
Good for you, man. And because that's it. It's not... Good for you for coming to that realization that you can't please them all, and it's just like that's their bullshit. Because it doesn't surprise me that was your experience either, man. Because whenever there's anything that is revolutionary, for lack of a better word, that it's never received well, because people don't want to change. They don't want to. They don't want to embrace the fact that what we know to be the best way to do something is not the best way to do something. Because then you have to embrace, well, hang on, either I've been lied to, or I'm just wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a hard pill to swallow. People don't want to embrace that. So it's much easier to go, you know what, let's just kill this, whatever this thing is that's threatening our bowling worldview. Let's just squash it, and then we can get back to business as usual.
Yeah.
But for you, is there anything about what you're doing that is close to being against the rules?
No. And it was just a breakdown of tradition versus new.
Yeah.
And
that's dogma.
That's all it was, and I think the thing that helped me push through all of that was I wasn't trying to do this for anyone else. Like, this was authentic me.